Hey Ringside crew, welcome to the internationally known Dudes at Ringside podcast. And now here's your host, Joe Panther III.
Hello there, wrestling fans, and welcome to another episode of the internationally known Dudes at Ringside podcast. I am Joe Panther III, and man, oh man, happy Royal Rumble Day, everybody. It's mid-Rumble, and all to the Panther Cave. There's cheers and boos and lots of weird things. Out of my cave, Mom. I'm recording. Just kidding. Love you, Mom. Sorry. I should have had a chancla just fly across my head. But today I have a young lady that is returning to the Dudes at Ringside to help me open Women's Wrestling Month. Yes, Women's Wrestling Month. This February, this month we're in right now, dedicated to the ladies, all them ladies out there that do so many awesome stuff in the ring for all our talent, all our like craziness watching wrestling. Let's give a warm Dudes at Ringside return to Gabby. Welcome to Dudes at Ringside, Gabby. Welcome back.
Hi, happy Royal Rumble Day and happy Women's Wrestling Month.
And Dudes at Ringside, awesome. So, Gabby, what have you been up to since the last time we were in the studios?
Oh gosh, a lot of stuff. First of all, thank you for saying young lady.
I feel like the old man in the room. I always do that.
When I'm 41.
I think we're the same age, Gabby. That's hilarious.
You just called yourself old. See, I'm old. I'm right. I've been doing a lot in this whole 25 years of wrestling, so I'm excited.
Oh, wow.
I just went down to Chile. I wrestled there, and it's crazy going to another country all the time, but it's really different going to Chile because wrestling's still like really new there. It's only like 20 years old or something. So, because like they had a dictator at some point. I love like they were trying to tell me the whole history of wrestling down there. And I guess so like they weren't allowed to have wrestling there, even to watch it. So now it's just becoming a thing like in the early 2000s kind of thing, late 90s, early 2000s. And now, so it's just like now the indies are starting there. So it's like very new, and it's really awesome to be a part of it. And I'm actually going to go back in May and in August this year.
Wow. So does it feel like, wow, I'm part of the history of Chilean wrestling that you're there now? Like it's been around for 20 years now.
Yeah. So it's super awesome because it's like, oh, it's been 20 years, but to think about it, like in like the States, it's, over 100 years, 150 years almost. And it's like, to think how about it, that like how new it is. And I was like the first independent woman out there. I think like Eva Lise was there and like Santana and Garrett were there, but they came like with companies like and did a show. I actually was like just I went down as an independent person myself and just went, so that was pretty cool.
Awesome. So where have you been, like in like what states have you within? You went to Chile, but is there any other like countries that you have on the board that you want to go to?
Yeah, I mean, I want to go everywhere, but like I've already been to like Canada, Mexico, and Japan and England, but I really want to do Europe. I want to go to like Germany. I definitely want to go back to England. I would love to do like Pro Wrestling Eve and just like there's so many different companies out there and so many girls out there. I would love to be a part of all of that and do more out there. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. So you wrestle in the regular you wrestle like normal wrestling style, and you also wrestle. I say normal wrestle, regular wrestling, and you also wrestle with the deathmatch scene.
Oh,
so
okay, that's what you mean. I'm like, what do you mean?
I always say that regular wrestling and then deathmatch wrestling, pillow fighting. No, like when it comes to like getting ready for like the day before like a deathmatch show. Is it differently? Do you train and prepare yourself different than doing a regular show?
Yeah, I mean, you definitely do. It's definitely like a whole different mindset you need to be in because it's not just a wrestling match where like oh, they're gonna put a hold of me. Like there's gonna be a lot of damage. So you already know going in, I'm gonna be in pain. Like even if I win, I'm coming out hurt. And you gotta have that crazy feeling in your head to like know that before you go in to it. And that's and then some people are amazing at it, and that's why they are known as deathmatch wrestlers, and they do it a lot. I try not to do it too often because I'm scared that I will like it too much. You never know, it can maybe not stop or something. So I have like I got like a real job that I have to do.
Jeez. So do you have any crazy stories from any of your matches you've done lately in the deathmatch scene?
I haven't done that much lately. I think I'm supposed to be like when I go back to Chile, they're doing like a cage match show. Like everyone's doing a match in a cage, and every match has a different stipulation to it. So I know I'm gonna be on that show. So I mean, I already have to feel like another thing about that, and like, oh, I'm definitely coming out hurt. But what's scary is that I'm gonna be in another country and what's gonna happen, because I've done death matches in Mexico, in the States, and in Canada. So I've already done it in another country. It's really far away. I can't drive home. Like,
oh geez, you'll be trying. You'll be doing like the Titanic. Oh, you'll see you later. Like,
yeah, so it'll be interesting of what will happen, I guess. And I don't think they've had like a girls cage match there yet, so that'll be something to be part of the history again. So it's really cool. I mean, like, you feel like so much has been done in wrestling, but then there's still so much to be like, oh my god, I'm the first to do that. Like, I was the first women's champion in the state of Maryland. Like, they didn't have one for the longest time. And then I was like, oh, is this still possible to have like the first of things? And it's really neat. It's
awesome.
sad because it didn't happen yet, but it's neat because I get to be part of that. So it's like a weird feeling.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy to think that like there's certain states that have not done certain things with women's wrestlers. You know what I mean?
Well, let's say I started in like 2000, 2001. I started training in 2000, 2001. I started actually doing shows. And back then it was like a handful of girls at the time. And there's been plenty of times where they're like, hey, you're going to wrestle so-and-so's girlfriend. We taught her how to wrestle this morning. And you're like, great, and then, and you want to put on a good match and you want to have a good show, but you're like, you also don't really want to hurt this person that doesn't know what they're doing. And because they don't know how to protect themselves, and you're fighting this chick, you know what I mean? So back then it was very weird situation, and so I can kind of see where like people don't have a lot going on in different states because they didn't have a lot at the time. And now women's wrestling is like booming, and there's so many girls, and I think that's why there's so many things happening now, because there are so many girls. And maybe not me personally, but at least my era helped bring girls into wrestling, like Molly Holly and like Jacqueline and Jazz and Lita and all that. Like, it was around that era that I started, that they were starting, so that would bring the girls in today, kind of thing. So
yeah, that's the most important part. Like, you grow up watching the ones that are now like in the Hall of Fame or like coming back. So like,
yeah, well, like I watched like Medusa and Bull Nakata and Leilani Kai and like all these girls when I was young and I started, and they got me into it. By the time I was in it, it was very like, oh, we're just gonna have like cat fight stuff. And then so like that's when like wrestling kind of like had that like dip in women's wrestling, and everything was very shock value, Jerry Springer, and that's kind of what they cared about. So they cared about that more than the actual wrestling of women. And then we had the real good girls that like, no, we're going to try to make this a wrestling match as best as we can, even if they want that crap. And then it just like built on top of that. And then girls got better at wrestling, and I'm loving it.
That's the best part because women's wrestling has now hit that. I feel like since COVID it has hit that peak. But for you, seeing all these young wrestlers coming in, have you had any of the younger wrestlers come up to you and ask you for advice, and you're like, oh my god?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's like honored, like I feel honored that they're actually asking me, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I'm like a vet now, like, oh okay, which is like kind of taken back but sweet that they care. And then but then I also get kind of annoyed when I do try to give advice and people just don't want to listen to me because they're like, you're not on WWE right now, so I don't care what you kind of say. And like, okay, well, it doesn't mean I haven't done things. Like, but all right, bitch. Like, fall on your face then. I don't care. Like,
yeah, just go to your trainer. Go find somebody in a corner, like one of those people that are not listening. You're like, oh, they're watching, but they're not watching what you're doing. Brr.
yeah, like I might be older, but like everything you've done, I've already done. Like, so okay.
5 times over.
Like, but I get to wrestle a guy. I'm like, yeah, I trained with all guys all the time and wrestled only guys when there was no women. Like, when you like, you're not the first one to wrestle a dude, or like, oh, I'm doing this. It's like you're not the first one, but I mean, okay.
So I saw one of your package videos you had on your Instagram page. How many belts have you won in your career so far?
I don't know. I don't know. I know I think I have like I've won, I want to say like 7 singles titles. Most of them were like women's champions. A couple were like a cruiserweight title of some sort. And then I think I got like 7 or 8 tag titles.
Wow.
So I know I'm like a tag team specialist. I didn't realize that I was.
You could be the Marty Jannetty. You just need a Sean, but that's not so cocky and won't throw you through a window.
No, but like I've held like maybe 7 tag titles with 7 different people.
Wow.
So I don't know. Or maybe am I like Billy Gunn? Who's the one who's always in a tag team?
I think Billy Gunn. I would say Marty Jannetty.
I think Billy Gunn's a good answer, right?
I would say Billy Gunn. Marty Jannetty's too. Marty Jannetty has the dark side of the ring, so I don't know if you want to be Marty.
I mean, I'm kind of going to the dark side of the rainbow over here because I'm sick of these little kids, Yeah. I remember the one person, like someone said something to me and they're like, oh, they have to wrestle this guy. But like, I was like, oh, that's awesome. They're getting a chance. Like, yeah, but he's old. He's like 40. And I'm like, I'm 41. And then they're like, oh, are you? And I was like, yeah, I can still wrestle. Like, I don't understand. I was like, there's a lot of people on TV right now that are older than me and doing a lot crazier shit than me. I was like, it's not always the age. I guess it's how you take care of yourself. But I just thought it was funny. Like, okay. I didn't realize I was old. And then I was like, so DCW, Dynamite Championship Wrestling in Delaware, they're actually putting me in their Hall of Fame this year. And then I'm like, feel so special for that. But I'm also like, oh wait, does this mean I have to retire?
Oh no.
I was like, am I that old? I'm in the Hall of Fame. And I was like, I'm honored to be in it. And then I was like, oh wait, I'm not done though. Like,
who told them you were leaving? You were retiring. That's so bad. Like, how do you explain? It's like that'd be an odd question for me because you're not retiring. Like, how do you explain to these people that you're not retiring, but you still want to take their Hall of Fame plaque?
Yeah, I don't know. That's what I was like, are you guys kicking me out? Am I like done? They're like, no. And I'm like, oh, okay.
You turn around and they cross your name off the list of the wrestling roster.
We'll see what happens. I don't know.
Do I still get my envelope at the end of the show?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, turn around. Take 20 out of that envelope. No. but if you're a Hall of Famer, they have to pay you. Oh God, every promoter's gonna DM me right now. That promoter, you'll be their Hall of Fame. They can pay you.
Yeah, so maybe that'll help me with bookings and pay. I'll get it. Like now I'm a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, you're a Hall of Famer. You have to put that in your announcement when you come out to the ring now.
Yeah, Hall of Famer. Yeah, make me feel a little special.
Does that make you feel like now you've done so many things in your career, but does that make you feel like you've done more?
A little bit, yeah, because then it's like, because like it's like you're proud but never satisfied. There's always another goal and like to reach. There's always something else to do in wrestling, and that's one of the reasons why I love wrestling. And then it's like I always have my friends have to tell me, and like, because I was like, oh man, all these people are doing things, like all these girls are getting opportunities, which I love, by the way. I'm not trying to do anything, but I'm like, man, we didn't have those opportunities when I started. Like when I started, like I said, there was only like one or two girls companies, and then now there's like a handful of them, like 10 of them in Japan. So now girls are going over to Japan like it's nothing. I was like, you don't understand how hard it was to get women over there. Like when I started. So I kind of get upset sometimes when I'm like, and then my friends are like, no, sit back. Do you remember you did this and this and this? And I was like, oh yeah, I did do stuff. And then I gotta like almost look back and realize that I did a lot of things that people didn't do before. So it was pretty cool.
And also there's one in New Jersey now, Bell to Bell.
Yeah.
I love Bell to Bell. That lady
Hampton runs it. She's amazing and is totally helping all these new girls. And I love to be a part of that, or in the ring or outside the ring, and whatever Missy needs, I'm there for her. And so is Annie Social, one of my first tag team partners. Like we're always there to help Missy and the new girls. So
it's really cool because she came on my podcast and she was like, after the podcast, Joe, I'm not going any more podcasts. I'm like, why? What did I do? When I say, no, nothing. You broke the mold. You asked me all my questions and it was so much fun.
Yeah.
I'm like, with me, I treat this less like a podcast and more like a hangout.
Yeah, we're having a conversation.
Yeah. Like, look, so here we go. Since I'm a local, I jokingly say I'm a local podcaster with a satellite dish in my roof. So in your case, when you're like after a show, I'm the local, I live in a little small town. I always support my local business, and I'll say this about forever. Support your local business. For you, Gabby, after a show, when you're going home, after you're done helping put the ring away and put the seats away, where is that place you go all the time when you're back on the almost halfway home?
Well, I do try to do that local business. I do try to ask the people in the area, like, hey, what is the local place to eat? Because I always want to eat after. I'm sorry. But it's, I usually have a long ride home, and I try to do whatever is local. But some of the small towns, everything closes super early. So by the time we're clearing up and doing this, the only thing open is like a Waffle House or an Applebee's. And so I kind of tend to go to one of them if I can't get to a good local place. But I always try to do it like, hey, where's the spot? Where are we going? What's the thing? Like, because, I don't want to eat the same food all the time. Half of the point of traveling around the world wrestling is to experience the rest of the world. And part of that is eating their local foods.
So where you've been, like these other places in like the country, what was like the best food you've ever had when you went out of the country?
Oh my God. That's so hard to say.
You're gonna offend somebody. Like, you're gonna offend somebody, Gabby.
Yeah, I'm gonna forget something somewhere. It's usually a taco though. Like it's either a taco or a burger that's like, oh my God, this was so good. Or like, a wing that has like a flavor that you just didn't have anywhere else. I'm like, oh my God, it was so good. Like it had enough spice to it, but it wasn't like overkill that you could like actually taste the food. I wish I could remember any of those places, but yeah, it was probably, there's always like a taco or a burger that's just like, yo, if I could eat here every day, it would be great.
I love tacos, and I'm half Puerto Rican, so rice and beans is always my thing.
Right.
Like, yeah. This friend of mine.
I was gonna start a cooking show. This is like my life is shoulda, coulda, what is, and ideas that I never follow through on, because So one of them was going to be Pots, Pans, and Pro Wrestling. And I was going to do a cooking show, and it was going to be like, hey, what's the best food that you have eaten on the road? And we would try to recreate it. Or if someone was doing like a, if they were on a special diet for whatever, if they were bulking or trying to lean out and stuff, like, and we would cook something that was in their diet and their recipes. So I mean, I might do that when I actually retire, so don't steal my ideas. Not you, but anyone else out there listening, don't steal my ideas, because
If we live
it
close
was like
together,
it was Pots,
Gabby.
Pans, and Pro Wrestling, and I do have the rights to that, and I just never did anything with it. But I told Shane McMahon about it once, and one time I was doing extra work and I was talking to him about it, and he was like, "That's a really cool idea." And then out of nowhere, Snackdown came on, and I was like, "Damn it!"
You can't unsay that now. You said it to Shane.
I know, and I was like, "Well, at least my idea is good enough that he stole it, I guess."
Yeah, you're right. Like, for me, I'm saying that, like, I would definitely, if we live close together, I'll be like, meet here. This is Mama Panther. Cook with my mom. I'll watch. I'll videotape. I'll be the camera guy.
We'll just be the taste tester.
Yeah, but like, and I work in a kitchen, as I said. I went to the doctor. My doctor got mad at me. I am now 140 pounds. So like, I taste everything. One of my chefs made me literally a bagel with bacon and sausage, and I was like, oh, I'm trying to lose weight. Thank you, but thank you. Ugh. Hate that. Hated it, but I ate the whole thing. Hate this. I hate it here, as I would say.
I hate it because I like it.
Yeah, I hate it, but I'm crying. I'm eating, but I'm Latino. I put hot sauce on the eggs. I'm like,
nice.
Is with independent wrestling now so like starting to get bigger than everybody. Well, independent wrestling for me is more of than I watch with WWE. Like I watched the Rumble today. Women's Rumble was amazing.
Yeah.
Like when you get a chance, if you didn't watch it, Gabby, go back and watch it. It was a good Rumble. Yeah. But with the independent wrestling scene now getting known through the WWEs and the AEWs, both the WWEs with the ID, do you like you keep a look on all like who they're giving the IDs to and go?
Yeah, that's like a new thing. I don't know, because I feel like they're already looking at people, and I just feel like them announcing that is just gonna be like, I don't know, another reason for those people to charge more. I don't know, like, because WWE is watching everybody as much as you think that they're not. Like, they might have a couple people in mind, but they're watching everybody, and now there's like a look on them. Now everyone wants to book them, and then now everybody's gonna want to like, and then they're gonna like them more because they're getting booked more. So it's pretty much like WWE must set them up for success in a way, because now they got to be looked at more and done more for them to be ready for WWE to scoop them up, I feel like. I love that, like, there's so many wrestling shows right now, but at the same time I hate it because there are so many wrestling shows, and now there's like, 10 minutes down the road there's another show, a half an hour down the road there's another show, and so everyone's like, it's great for all these wrestlers trying to get shows, but now I feel like now we're chopping up the fan base into all these different shows, and you're splitting them instead of like, oh, we have 500 to 1,000 here. Now we have like 100 here and 100 there, and it's like splitting it up, and then you're like, well, why can't we get the crowd? Like, well, because they're at the other one 10 minutes down the road, and you're like, oh. Do you know what I mean? Like, so yeah. It kind of sucks, and that's kind of like, I understand why they used to do the territory system. You're like, well, there's tons of people there. I'm like, yeah, well, they were the only show in town, so yeah, it made sense. So I kind of go back and forth of this, all the different wrestling shows. Like, I love it and hate it at the same time. Like, it's so awesome that there's so much wrestling, but I feel like we're splitting up the crowd instead of making more crowd. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense to me. Like, they always say, oh, it's like the territories, and it does bring me back to the territory games days with the stuff I was watching. technically, if you're in PA, you either go to PPW, where I go to a lot, which you should definitely one day you should try to come, Gabby. They have a really.
They've used me before. We'll just figure it out. I think it's a schedule thing for us right now. But yeah.
Semi Chaos, you knew would be. Oh my God, you versus Semi Chaos.
That would be awesome. I've worked her before, so yeah, that'd be super. And I've teamed with her before.
She had the women's title, and I made her laugh and smile, and she hugged me, so it's okay. I didn't die.
She's awesome and scary.
I made Semi Chaos like smile. I thought her face cracked. I was like, oh, Band-Aid, bandito. She hugged me. I was like, hi. All the guys were like, even everyone's like, she's like, I'm like a little leprechaun. I'm like, hi. And she just beat Danny Moe for the women's title. Like, I was like, Dad, I'll be right back. My dad's like, nice. Where you going now?
What, she at PPW?
Yeah, she won the women's title. And she came around to her table, and I was like, oh my God. Like, I ran to her table.
Come now and wrestle her for that belt. Okay.
It's a nice looking belt. I took a picture with Danny Moe with the belt too.
That's awesome. Yeah, Danny Moe's, I love her.
She's that energy. I bought something from Danny, even though she's never been on Dudes at Ringside, and I bought something from her. I bought a beanie. I love beanies.
Yeah. Oh my God. She is so amazing. I've seen her like at the end of the night, and she will talk to everybody. It's not even like, hey, we gotta go. It's like the building is shutting down, and she's still talking to everybody. She's like, I want to make sure every fan gets their moment with me. They're waiting in this line. I'm gonna and give that chance to talk with them. Like Danny Moe was like super awesome like that. Like she's so amazing. Even though we're all getting kicked out of the building, the lights are turning off, and then she's like, nope, I'm gonna stand here and talk to every fan that's staying here waiting for me. It was really cool of her. She's super awesome like that.
Yeah, it's really cool. So when it comes to like merch and like t-shirts and stuff like that, who makes your stuff? Like, who makes the t-shirts you wear?
I come up with like a rough idea of a design, and then I'll hit up one of my friends who do design t-shirts and stuff. Usually it's like Lufisto or Lobo, and I go to one of them, whoever's available at the time, and then like, hey, here's my idea, and then they make it awesome and make it a reality. And then I'll usually go to Pro Wrestling Tees. I used to go to this one local place around the corner from me, but they shut down. So now it's just kind of like, oh, just Pro Wrestling Tees just happens to be easier for me right now. It's like, dude.
Everybody I know is like, Joe, you should put your Dudes at Ringside stuff on like that. I'm like, I don't know if it would take. They may go, is this copyrighted? No, it's my logo. Stupid.
Well, I mean, I think they just ask those things to protect their ass, you know what I mean? But yeah, like, I mean, or there's Collar and Elbow. There's tons of places. Like, there's all these new wrestling ones popping up, and I love that there's so many options for everybody. I just I kind of went to Pro Wrestling Tees first, and I just been there for so long. I'm just kind of just stick with them. I'm lazy. Is what that is. I'm lazy to move and do other things. I do have some stuff on Redbubble. I do have stuff on Redbubble, so you can like buy, instead of just t-shirts, you can buy like, I don't know, like a shower curtain or whatever the hell other options they have.
Yeah, I think there was a wrestler we had on in the past. Shout out to Savannah Summers. She's from Australia. I think she has. You remember Savannah Summers?
Yeah.
Legend. That woman's a legend. like, so when it comes to women's wrestlers, with this being Women's Wrestling Month, is there any women's wrestlers that you've been seeing on the scene that you want to have, that you want to like wrestle or you want to meet?
Oh man, I'm all of them, honestly. And I am the worst with names. What is this one chick? I think she's from like the Midwest or maybe Cali, and she does like kind of like the Bull Nakata look right now, but she's like,
oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. She has like the lightning bolts. Oh my God, yes.
She's awesome.
She's freaking nuts.
I cannot think of her freaking name right now because I'm horrible. But yeah, like, one, she's got a great look, and I'm like, oh, she's got a cool look, and I'm that person that's just like, all right, now what? After the cool look, what? But like, then you watch her wrestle, like, she knows what she's doing and she's fucking awesome. Like, I would like to team with her because I don't want to get beat up by her. But
I'd be scared.
right? But yeah, like I would love to wrestle her. She is amazing. I feel like if she's not already WWID, she needs to be. Like I would love to see her travel all over. But I'm an asshole and I forget everything. I get dropped in my head a lot. Is not what I should say. You know what I mean?
I thought you were about to panic because I've had female wrestlers say the F word and then they go, "Oh my god," and I'm just like,
yeah, I don't fucking care.
I'm like,
whatever.
In my head, I say you can curse on the podcast, just don't get us kicked off YouTube. Like, Facebook is really rough these days when you say a word. They're like,
yeah. Well, like then in Chile, there's Aphrodita. Like, she is a legend there, and she is like the first women's wrestler in Chile, and I want to wrestle her. Like, and just meeting her, like, I'm like so giddy. And even like Kalisto was down there at the show too, and he was like, "Oh my god, this is the first." She's like, we're both like, "Oh, let's go meet her!" Like, let's go meet her. Like, and she's so cute and humble, and she's just like, "Oh, me? Why do you want to come meet me?" I'm like, "Do you not know who you are?" Like, it's just, you're the first literally to do everything in this country, and it's awesome. So I plan, and hopefully I get to wrestle her when I go back to Chile, and then we'll see. But or team with her, do anything, like anything involving with her, it would be amazing. Just to be in the ring with her one way or another would be awesome. I do have an issue with Stevie Brooks. We were teaming at WDWA, like in West Virginia, and like, I'm waiting for the tag, and she just hits me and throws me off the ring, smashed my face into a chair. Thank God no fan was standing there. They just happened to get up. Then it was broke my nose. Right?
Oh my god!
Like, yeah. And then she didn't give a shit, and she was just like, "What? What did I do?" And then she lost our match. So I'm just thinking, like, I asked her to tag me beforehand. She didn't want to listen. Like usual, these young girls don't want to listen to me. So I had to fucking punch her in the face. So
yeah,
can't wait to see her again.
Yeah, I really hope I'm at a show.
I don't care if she's even watching tonight. Stevie Brooks is a bitch.
Do it. Yes.
Fuck it up. Fucking find out.
That'll be the clip that StreamYard AIs. You just saying, "Fuck a bitch." Just...
So funny, like, that's why I love teaming Valentina, because she's usually the feisty one. I gotta hold her back. But you know what? I love teaming her because she's rubbing off on me. Like, this is exactly what I need. I'm so sick of these girls like stepping on my back to get to places, and then I'm gonna come down.
Well, as I say, if I ever come to one of your shows, because I live in PA. So if you two ever come to PPW and you're looking for a little manager and to be in your corner with a pair of red glasses.
Hey man, I'll take it. I'm in Philly. Let's go.
I got a green coat and I have a blue coat. But I wear a large. So if you need a guy to wear like a pink jacket or something cool or like something interesting, give me a purple coat. I'll wear it.
What you're wearing, buddy. I just need you. I need you there when I need you there.
Yes, I'll be there. Yes, I'm gonna have to take either an Uber if I'm in Philly somehow. I live in Milford, so Philly. I don't know how I'm gonna get to Philly.
Anything under 3 hours is not far for wrestlers.
Yeah, I gotta see you come to PPW because I gotta meet you, Gabby. I met a lot of other wrestlers.
I gotta come back.
PPW is fun. And also ISBW. That's another one close to me too.
I've gotten, some of my students, because I'm the trainer, one of the trainers at CZW. I've gotten some of my students on their shows, and people they do awesome there. And so it's like I said before, it's a schedule thing. It's nothing that like I don't want to work there. They don't want to use me. It's more of a schedule thing, and we just got to make it happen.
Yeah. So what is it now? You're a coach as well as being a wrestler. What does that feel like? That you're training these young future stars of the business?
It's awesome because sometimes I'm kind of like, oh man, like, should I be training these people? And then I'm like, oh yeah, I've done things, I know things. And then the more I teach, the more I realize I know. And I think that's where I'm actually getting more confidence, because I do realize I do know a lot. And it's good to make sure that I'm training these new talent the way they should be treated. Like they should learn etiquette. They should learn how to get their driver's license and drive to a show. And just because you pay dues at one company doesn't mean you don't pay dues at other companies. You got to pay dues everywhere you go. And it's like, and you're always working to get harder, and just training people right and have the right mentality, and make sure they have a long lasting career, not just like a flash in the pan. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
sorry, my
it's nice
computer.
to see that in these people, and like I'm and seeing these kids are, and I say they're kids, but they're like some are older than me, some are younger than me, but I just call them my kids, and they're like, it's awesome seeing these kids just becoming like good people and good workers, and somebody you want in the locker room that's always going to support everybody in the locker room and listen, and they know enough to know they don't know everything, because there's so much to learn in wrestling. Nobody knows everything, and they're willing to learn and always get better, and I love that about them. So I love being a trainer. I love it.
That's awesome. So now let's go into it. The gear you wear, is that something you made, or is that something that like a person that makes gears made?
I guess it depends on which one we're talking about. A lot of the time I'll just buy something off of like Amazon or Etsy, like, or even eBay, and I kind of doctor it up and make it mine.
Okay.
So like my checker outfit that I have, like that was like a one bodysuit, like a gymnastics leotard, but then I had it like I had it like trimmed out here and then with designs on it. I got a skirt from like a running site. And then, so it's stuff like where I added my own. And then, I did have gear before where I had my name on it and stuff like that. That would be more custom. Like I had like Nick Burke would make me gear. He was amazing at it. And just like, me and Valentina Vasquez just got new tag gear. And so, we had that custom made. And so yeah, most of the time I try to do the cheap route.
Yeah, it
It usually
happens.
gets wrecked anyway, and then I just make it like I try to like custom it up myself, instead of like, because I've had it to where people would make me gear, and it, even though I gave them measurements, and it just didn't turn out right. So then I just kind of like, all right, well, I'm just gonna do it this way, and then I'll doctor it to around me. But I think I finally found a good one, and I can't say the names because as soon as you tell people like you got a good gear maker, everybody jumps on that person and they're super busy and then they can't use you anymore. So that's why
Yeah.
everyone's like, oh, who does your gear, and then it's like you can't, that's why nobody wants to talk about it, because then they get super busy and then they don't have time to do your gear.
It's a lot of other wrestlers I noticed that they get their stuff from a guy like this little sweet. They always say this little sweet guy in Mexico, and I'm like, that's why they don't say the name, because that
Yeah,
was.
I know Lindsay Dorado does a lot of people's gear, but he's very much like, I can do 4 people this month, and it's literally like who's in his inbox at that time, the first 4 people he talks to, and even if people are after him, it's long gone. The next month, it's whatever. It's so, but he also does videos, I think, on Twitch. I think it's on Twitch, and he'll do videos about how to teach you how to do your own gear, and he'll do videos about how he's making gear at the time, so you guys can learn how to make your own gear and stuff. So I mean, it's a really good thing to learn how to sew. I don't care, guy or girl, learn how to sew.
If you're a wrestler, you got to know. You can't just go out there in a Speedo with a pair of boots you found on the flea market shelf, because you got to.
Yeah, But like even if you don't make your own gear, it's good to learn how to sew because there's always rips and tears, and you can't be like, oh, I have to go send it back to this person that like you said lives in Mexico, and then so how long does it take to get there? Then they got to fix it, and then they got to send it back. Like so what are you wrestling in nothing until then? Like you gotta be able to sew it up.
Is there like I think that would be me. I'd probably be the cheap. I would call it the WWE 2K23 like create a character. Like I can't afford to go get the big expensive gear on Etsy, so I'm going to the Speedo store and buy myself like a swimsuit down to my knees and just. Mom, can you stitch fire on this thing? Randy, this is a Speedo. Mom, please.
Well,
Like,
that's the thing too, where it's like, you know what I mean? Like it's how also like how much money do you want to put into it? How much do you want to look like a superstar? But also, what is your character? You know what I mean? Like, does is that something you're wearing? Is that something that would be comfortable? And so something like that's already made that I know that is designed for like gymnastics. You know, you're gonna be doing crazy movements in that, and then I'm like, I'd rather get that something similar to what I already had in my head, and then get something custom made all over it and on it. That I would do that to start out for these younger guys that are getting into it. Like it's easier to do something like that. At least you know your sizes, and then when you want custom gear later, like hey, this thing fits me if you want to use this as your baseline, and then you have that thing instead of trying to figure it out and like nope, it don't fit, take it back, nope, don't fit, take it back, and it's just kind of something easier.
yeah. So, do you have any upcoming shows?
Yeah, this Friday, sorry, the date got changed. It was like February 7th. I'm gonna be back in West Virginia for WDWA, and then CCW's got the anniversary show February 22nd. Definitely check that out. Be a lot of fun, a lot of interesting stuff. And then I am doing the DCW's Hall of Fame is going to be at the end of March. I believe it's March 29th. So there's that. I have like other stuff in between, but these are like my big things right now. You can find all my other stuff on my Instagram. That's where I mostly post everything about all my upcoming stuff. So watch out for that there.
Awesome.
I am Gabby Gilbert.
Awesome, Gabby. Gabby's the best. If any of my fans want to pick up anything of yours, like stickers and T-shirts and any of the Gabby stuff, where can they find it?
Find me at a show. I'll definitely have stuff on me. I always have merch on me. And then if you want to get some of the T-shirts, you can go to prowrestlingtees.com/Gabby. And that'll be my store. If you can also find Gabby Gilbert on Reddit, Redbubble. Redbubble, and you can find there and get all kinds of stickers and notebooks and shower curtains and whatever else they have there.
Oh gosh, shower curtain. Yeah, Gabby on the shower curtain.
Weird things on there. I don't know. It's like they have like shower curtains. They have like notebook. They have something you put on your phone. I don't know. They got like my logo is on the thing.
Imagine they have like you with the shower cap on with the cat thing like.
That'd be so funny.
Imagine that, Gabby, have like the bubbles all over like your waist and have like your arm with the scrubby thing. You're like bubbles in your name is in bubbles. It says Gabby Gilbert.
But also, if you guys go to like Pro Wrestling Tees, you go to Valentina Vasquez, like that'll be our tag team shirts if you want that. You know, dangerous but fun, and you know we got some really cute stuff up there.
Well, yeah. If there's any kids out there that were watching the show tonight or were listening later on Spotify,
sorry for cursing.
It's okay. Kids curse these days. Have you gone to a high school?
Don't. You can be better than cursing. You can get more creative.
Yeah. If kids are watching this afterwards, again, sorry about the language, but we adults here, 41. I'm trying to be hip.
I'm old as an adult. I don't know if I act like one.
I don't look like an adult. I'm bald and I'm short. So like, I walk up to a female wrestler and they're like, "What? Did I get a wish? Did I get a wish podcaster? He's too short." So walking up the same case of chaos. It's like, didn't pay the toll. It's like Wish. I'm like a Wish. Your grandfather was about 6 feet tall, but I got to Wish Jose Quinones. I'm like little peanut.
So
paid half
what
the-
about the kids that are watching?
Yes. And they're sorry, Joe went into a goofy rant. If they're watching, they wanted to get into the wrestling business like you did. What kind of advice do you have for them?
I would try to wait till you're like 15, you know, because when you start, you like a lot of people hit their head, and it's not good to have that many head injuries so young. But I know at the same time, it's like any sport, you know, the younger you start, the better it is. But I would still say try to wait till like 15 or 16 and have an idea. Definitely go to the gym beforehand, be ready to work out. And it doesn't always have to be for looks. There's a thing called in-ring or is ring shape. It's ring shape, and you need to be in ring shape. And that is a whole different thing. Even if like most regular athletes, like in WWE tryouts, and they get athletes from all these other places, even them are like, yo, that is something so different. And it really is. So start working out and start eating right. Learn to take care of yourself. The sooner the better. And you'll have a long lasting career. And then come train with me at CCW.
Yes, that'd be fun. So, Gabby, I want to thank you so much for coming back on the podcast. Definitely go give this video a follow. And before I go, Gabby, where can they find you on social media?
Definitely on Instagram. I am Gabby Gilbert. That's where you can find me. And thank you for watching, like, or at least listening. If you're watching the Rumble, but listening to us, that's awesome. If you're watching it later, thank you. I appreciate everybody. Go check out some stuff and then watch women's wrestling and do things. Remember, I did it first.
Yes. And we will catch you in the next one.